Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Maximus Black.
And Nova War.
And we are bringing you yet another mid-level replay sent in by you guys. And over here in the left position, we have Kbizzle. And down here in the south, we have Urban.
Great. You looked at me and I had nothing to say there. But anyway, Kbizzle, I can't remember or not. I think we were discussing this. I think he might have been in the first tournament, but I think he might have also been one of the guys whose partner didn't show up and he ended up not playing in the tournament, but he might also be the guy who has a free pass into whatever one else he wants. But yeah, anyway, here we are. We're looking at, of course, the Protoss versus the Zerg, and I love Metalopolis. This is probably one of my favorite maps. Not the most complicated of all maps, but you know, it's got a decent amount of variation on it to provide some interesting strategy that can happen for basically any race. I don't think this map favors technically any race a great deal, and in that I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, one thing that I will point out about the scouting here that Kbizzle is doing, and in case some of you don't know, if you hold in Shift and right-click, and then you just right-click over here, and then go down this way, and right-click down this way. You don't have to continuously be waiting and then go over there and click. It does this all by itself. All it is a shift click. If you don't know about it, there you go. It's pretty simple to do, and that way you can do an effective scouting without having to put a whole lot of attention to what you're doing with your probe, and that way you can just stay at your base.
Yeah, so as you can see, you guys, right now, we're not looking at anything, of course, too spectacular. Everybody here is going to be doing essentially the exact same thing they do every match. We're looking at, of course, a 9 pylon and gateway going up in a simulator. And at the other end, we're looking at what seems to be maybe a 12 pool there. So nothing out of the ordinary. Both players now know where the other is located. They are in close position to one another, so that should be a small advantage for the Zerg player right off the bat. And I'll be interested to see if there is aggression at this point, or if the Zerg will perhaps back off and maybe try and fast expand.
Yeah, well, he got a spawning pool fairly quickly. That tells you one of two things. Either he's going to attack at a reasonably fast pace, or he's going to go right into Roach. And I've seen that he did have a...
he's throwing it down right now, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay, never mind. I wasn't looking at the production tab. He is getting a Roach Warren. A lot of Zerg players do this. There's this new sort of... it's been deemed cheesy play for Zerg, where you kind of rush into these very quick 7 Roach that are fairly hard to deal with. So we'll see if Urban goes in with some fast Roach. One thing that I will point out is I like this play that Kbizzle is doing, getting out a fast Zealot and then just holding position right there. As you can see, the whole position is on, and that way, if any 6-ling decide to run up here, they would only be able to attack this Zealot, maybe 1 or 2 ling at a time, and the Zealot would win the war.
Yeah, something I'd like to definitely point out right now is that Kbizzle is supply blocked. He just threw a pylon down there, maybe 2 pylons at once, one in behind that smoke there and another one next to his Nexus. Guys, as a Protoss player in the early match, especially against something like a Zerg, you really, really have to have a good opening. If you don't have a good opening, Protoss isn't super strong in the first few minutes. You'll find a lot of the time you have to rely on sentry play and sentry micro to keep yourself in the game long enough to get your mid-tier units as a Protoss player to really get some good groundwork laid out. And so if you're supply blocking yourself, you're obviously, at any race, you're not doing yourself a favor. But also something I want to point out is where he put that pylon. He has 1 pylon up there at his choke. Jeff, if you want to go look at that real quick for me. 1 pylon at his choke. I always put a 2nd pylon. Now he's doing it there, but my 2nd pylon is almost always in a location that will keep my gateway and whatever else I'm using at my choke powered should that 1 pylon go down, because in a wall, really, the pylon is the weakest link unless you are blocking off with a unit. And so if that goes down, of course, as you know, being Protoss, you're going to lose ability to use either one of those structures.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually getting a Warp Prism fairly quickly. And I mean warp gate fairly quickly. Warp prism, yeah. And a robotics facility as well. So we may see some fast immortals. That is a really good counter, because you can almost always assume that a Zerg is going to get Roach. I also do like this play where he put that pylon to make sure that nothing fishy was happening there. But man, this is a lot of units right here, and Kbizzle has a single Zealot and a Stalker and 1 Sentry. So this is going to rely on Micro. Nice force field right there to keep those roaches out of the base, picking off one of the little lings there. He really needs to get an Immortal out ASAP. Another Sentry coming down. At this point, he's going to have to rely on force fields, and his energy just doesn't even have enough yet to put out another force field.
Yeah, so as I was saying just a couple of minutes ago, or not even, there's a nice force field. Very well done there. A Protoss against Zerg, especially a pushing Zerg, and there he's attacking that pylon
should be
again.
attacking that Stalker right
Yeah, basically he is relying on that Sentry force field to keep him alive right now.
Nice force field.
Very nice use of the force field though to keep him out and keep himself alive. Interesting, it looks like he's going to be going for really fast Colossi by the looks of that right now. Yep. Obviously, Colossi, I want to say Colossus, but whatever. They're good against Zerg. They're good against basically everything, but they're godlike. Really good against a Zerg player, especially with the ground forces, obviously. And you know, so it's interesting to see him go that quick, though. Usually against a Zerg, you want to try and take up. That's going to be a lot of trouble. These lings coming up here if they get through. Also, something I want to point out that we didn't when they made that first attack. Urban did. Was expanding at the exact same time, and you know how much we love that here. Yeah,
it's always good to see somebody working the battlefield and working the base at the same time, and it looks like Urban is coming down here. I actually have, that's a really good surround. I have no, I can't see Kbizzle getting out of this. This is a lot of units, especially if you can take out these pylons in the base. All these units, or all these buildings won't be able to build units, and he actually has to bring off his probes at this point, and looks like the probes are fighting for dear life here. Oh, we got an Immortal out there. These probes are doing some serious damage. The pylon now goes down. Everything is unpowered.
No power.
Needs to get that Immortal to start attacking instead of trying to run around in circles there. And it looks like he actually may survive. What is he doing with these roach? He's like
attacking.
No, he's clicked the run. I don't know what he's doing, and he throws out nice.
Nice.
That was nice.
It was nice. I think part of that Urban assisted. However, that was fairly nice. As we were pointing out earlier, there go all the power to those buildings. You have to be careful to not just have 2 or 3 buildings or more powered off of one pylon. That's just asking for trouble, as you saw right there. Kbizzle getting in a great deal of trouble, and but you know what? Getting out of that alive was nice. Here comes another roach, a couple roach. Don't know if I agree with this entirely right now. That's not enough roach. If he had one other Immortal, because he doesn't necessarily know, those 2 Immortal plus any other 3rd unit as a shield would totally destroy every one of those roach. But he's going to go for a push anyway. And but other than that, you know, good job.